I'll 27-year-old female be getting married in the next year to 18 months. No date finalized yet. Originally, I had planned to have my stepdad and my paternal grandpa share the father of the bride duties because my dad has been dead since I was 6 years old and my stepdad has been there for me almost as long. But my grandpa is hugely important and has played the role of the most important man in my life after my dad. My stepdad did not want to share the role, and he wanted to walk down the aisle and have the father-daughter dance just with me. He told me he was not okay with my grandpa doing either alone or both with him. He told me that in the end, he was the real dad in my life since I was 7 years old. While he may not be biologically my dad, he has been married to my mom and taking care of me for 20 years. He is also the father to all my siblings, and his place in my life should be honored and not shared with a grandparent just because I lost my dad. So I told him I would have just grandpa then. This was not the end of the conversation, and it came up again during my mom's birthday dinner. He mentioned it in front of his family, aka his parents and siblings, as well as my mom and my mom's family. He told me he wanted to be the father of the bride. He wanted to walk me down the aisle. He wanted a father-daughter dance. He wanted a toast. He wanted everything that traditionally comes with this. Because he brought it up in front of them, and because I was slightly annoyed by him bringing it up again, without clarifying if he was okay with sharing the role, I told him no again. I also told him I had already asked Grandpa. This was in front of both families, and it did start a debate over this. Once I realized I was hated for saying no by his family, and some of my mom's family, including my mom, disliked that I couldn't let him do it, but some were on my side, I decided to leave. My stepdad told me I had humiliated him and made the dinner all about me. I said he brought it up first, and he told me kindness and decency would suggest I not turn him down in front of everyone. I also got a very angry message from one of his siblings and another from the same sibling on behalf of his parents. They told me I had no business treating him this way. When I didn't reply to this person either time, my stepdad told me I was going out of my way to behave inappropriately and to hurt him. The importance of my paternal family in my life has always been an issue for my stepdad and his family, but especially the importance of Grandpa. For many years, my stepdad has been jealous, and his family has commented that I shouldn't need my grandpa because I have my stepdad. His family has expressed their dislike for me several times because they feel I should have the same relationship with their son as I have with Grandpa. My stepdad expected an apology, and when he didn't get one, he told me yet again that he didn't like my behavior at the dinner. Am I the idiot? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. He told me that kindness and decency would suggest I not turn him down in front of everyone. Translation. He thought peer pressure in a more public setting would force you to cave, and he's upset it didn't work. Not the idiot. Don't back down on this. It's your decision at the end of the day, and your stepdad is being 100% an AH. Comment 2. Not the idiot. You made your position clear. He knew your position on the matter. It was his decision to try and publicly guilt and shame you into changing your mind because his entire family was around. He made the mistake of thinking you would cave to his demands because people were around. He embarrassed himself. Now for the update. Hey everyone, thanks for reading my update. It's been a week since I posted about the situation with my stepdad and the father of the bride duties at my upcoming wedding. A lot has happened since then, and I feel like I need to share it with you all. First off, I made a mistake. After the birthday dinner fiasco, I was so upset and frustrated that I decided to call my grandpa and vent to him about everything that had happened. I told him about how my stepdad had brought up the issue in front of everyone and how his family had been sending me angry messages. I also mentioned how my stepdad had always been jealous of my relationship with my paternal family, especially my grandpa. What I didn't realize at the time was that my grandpa was on speakerphone and my aunt, his daughter, was in the room with him. She heard everything I said and was furious. She called my mom and told her that I was trying to turn my grandpa against my stepdad and that I was being manipulative. My mom confronted me about it, and I tried to explain that I was just venting and that I never meant for anyone else to hear what I said. But the damage was done. My mom was hurt and disappointed in me, and my stepdad was even more upset than before. Things only got worse from there. My stepdad's family started spreading rumors about me, saying that I was ungrateful and that I didn't appreciate everything my stepdad had done for me over the years. They even went so far as to say that I was trying to replace my stepdad with my grandpa. I tried to talk to my stepdad about it, but he wouldn't listen. He said that he was done trying to be a father figure to me and that he was tired of always being second best to my paternal family. He told me that if I wanted my grandpa to be the father of the bride, then that was fine, but he wouldn't be attending the wedding. I was devastated. I never meant for things to get this bad. I love my stepdad, and I appreciate everything he's done for me, but I also love my grandpa, and I don't think it's fair for me to have to choose between them. I tried to talk to my mom about it, but she was caught in the middle. She loves my stepdad, and she doesn't want to see him hurt, but she also understands how important my grandpa is to me. She suggested that I try to find a compromise, but I don't know if that's possible at this point. Looking back, I realize that there's a lot of history and underlying feelings that have contributed to this situation. My stepdad has always struggled with the fact that he's not my biological father, and he's always felt like he has to compete with my paternal family for my love and attention. I remember when I was younger, my stepdad would get upset whenever I talked about my dad or spent time with my grandpa. He would make comments about how he was the one who was there for me every day and how my paternal family only saw me on holidays and special occasions. I think part of the reason why my stepdad is so adamant about being the father of the bride is because he sees it as a way to finally be recognized as my real dad. He wants to be the one to walk me down the aisle and have that special moment with me, and he feels like sharing that role with my grandpa diminishes his importance in my life. But what my stepdad doesn't realize is that I love him for who he is, not for the role he plays in my wedding. He's been there for me through so much, and I'm grateful for everything he's done. But I also have a special bond with my grandpa that I don't want to ignore or diminish. I don't know what's going to happen next. My wedding is still a year away, but I feel like I need to start making decisions soon. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but I also don't want to compromise on what's important to me. I'm hoping that with time and communication, we can all find a way to move forward and celebrate this special day together. But for now, I'm just trying to take things one day at a time and focus on what really matters: the love and support of my family, no matter what form it takes. Thanks for reading and for all your support. It means a lot to me. Aita for skipping the girls' trip. Because I'm tired of baby talk and wedding bells, I, 27 years old female, have a group of female friends, 8 of us. We have been friends for over a decade since school. Now we don't live in the same place, so we meet up a couple of times a year for a weekend in an Airbnb. This used to be a weekend of good food, drinks, hot tub, etc. I am content with my life at the moment. I am single and dating. I don't know if I would like children, but in the event I did, I know I wouldn't want one soon. Around 5 of my friends are either married or in very long-term relationships. Out of these 5, 2 either have a baby or are pregnant. I will be seeing all of my friends this year for various wedding, friend, or baby events. I have been invited to this year's girls' trip, but I have said that I can't come. I didn't originally provide a reason. When queried in person by my pregnant friend, I told her the truth. I am not going because it's a massive financial expense for 3 days where we only talk about people's upcoming engagements, weddings, or babies. I have a lot going on, but I feel like a lot of my friends do not show an interest unless I talk about someone I'm dating. The last time I listened to one of my friends talk about her breastfeeding plans for over an hour, even though she is not pregnant or trying. Truthfully, it's boring, and it feels dismissive. It's also a really expensive way to feel bad about myself. When I told my friend this, I made it clear that I am thrilled for them all living the lives they want, but maybe this trip is not right for me at the moment. It feels like the group has 2 distinct life stages, and I'm in the minority as it focuses on one stage. My friend has since told me that she's really hurt because she thinks I am not excited for her or our other friends. I responded saying that I am evidently excited for them from other actions, but I just didn't think the trip was for me. I have numerous other things on, and fitting this in both on the calendar and financially is a struggle. I just want to add, specifically for this friend, that I have gone on 3 weekends away for her wedding, and I am flying to go to her baby shower, all in the last 2 years. I have not asked her, nor has she wanted to fly to see me for anything in the last 2 years. So my query is, am I the jerk for being truthful with the reason why I can't go? Update, thank you all for your responses and comments. Just a few things to note in response to some of the general themes of response. 1. I do show an interest in their weddings, engagements, babies, and baby plans. I am excited for them. I text about it, I ask for updates, I go to and help plan events for these things. My issue is that 3 days of talking about this, like it's the only topic of substance, is not fun, especially when I don't feel an interest is reciprocated to me on my life. 2. I have spoken to one of my other friends invited on the trip who is also not at the baby stage of life. She is also not going on the trip and said she is not attending for the same reason. 3. The friend I expressed this to has apologized for her initial reaction and is still trying to convince me to come. I am not going to go, but I am hoping she at least considers what I have shared. 4. I do have other friends in the city I live in, and they are a joy to be in the company of. Maybe this is because we became friends as adults and have more similar lifestyles. Who knows? Finally, some comments about me being jealous, hating myself, my life, etc. To confirm, dear strangers on the internet, I am content. Thank you for the concern, though. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1, not the jerk. We all change as we get older. You naturally drift apart from some friends, especially if their lifestyle changes dramatically. Think married with children in particular. I wouldn't want to spend a lot of money to spend 3 days with a group that had such dissimilar interests. And I don't think it was wrong to be truthful when your friend asked you why you wouldn't go. Comment 2, not the jerk, and what you are experiencing at 27 is what a lot of the rest of us have also experienced. Lives change, and all of a sudden, some of our friends don't have much in common with us anymore. I've casually drifted from friends because all they could talk about was diapers or insist on bringing their kid to an outing. That's just not my thing. Now, for the update. Hey everyone, thanks for reading my last post and for all your thoughtful comments and insights. It's been pretty up and down couple of weeks since I last updated you all. First off, I want to say that I did end up going to my friend's baby shower. It was a lovely event, and I was genuinely happy to celebrate this exciting milestone with her. We had a heart-to-heart conversation during the shower where she apologized again for her initial reaction to me not attending the girls' trip. She acknowledged that she had been so caught up in her own life changes that she hadn't been as attentive to what was going on with me. It was a really meaningful moment of reconnection for us. However, the girls' trip itself ended up being a bit of a disaster. From what I heard from a couple of friends who did attend, there was a lot of tension and disagreement about the itinerary and activities. It seems like the differing life stages and priorities within the group really came to a head. One friend who is in a similar position to me confided that she felt totally out of place and ended up leaving early. In the meantime, I've been focusing on nurturing the friendships that feel most fulfilling to me right now. I've been spending a lot of quality time with my friends here in the city, and it's been so refreshing to have conversations that aren't solely centered around weddings and babies. We've been trying out new hobbies together, like a weekly pottery class, and it's been a great way to bond and de-stress. That being said, I did have a bit of a wake-up call last week. I went on a date with someone I was really excited about, but it quickly became clear that we were on totally different pages. He started talking about his timeline for marriage and kids, and I realized that I'm just not there yet. It was a bit of a gut punch, to be honest. As much as I know I'm content with my life, it did make me question whether I'm missing out on something by not being in the same life stage as so many of my friends. I ended up having a long phone call with my sister about it. She's a few years older than me and has always been my sounding board. She reminded me of how much I've accomplished in my career and personal life, and how much joy and fulfillment I get from the path I'm on. It was a much-needed perspective check. Looking back, I realized that a lot of my hesitation around the girls' trip and the frustration I was feeling with some of my friendships was coming from a place of insecurity about my own choices. Seeing so many of my friends move into this next chapter of their lives made me question whether I was doing something wrong by not following the same timeline. But I know deep down that I'm exactly where I'm meant to be right now, and the friendships that matter most will continue to evolve and grow with me, even if we're not always in the same life stage. It's been a process of learning to communicate my needs and boundaries while still celebrating the people I care about. So that's where things are at right now. It's been a bit of, well, Interesting, but I'm feeling more grounded and confident in my choices. As always, thanks for lending an ear and for all your support. Until next time. Aita for choosing a full ride. At W&M over UVA against my parents' wishes. Hi everyone. For context, I am an 18-year-old female. I got into the University of Virginia, UVA, and the College of William and Mary, W&M. UVA was one of my top schools for the longest time because I thought it was prestigious and it was pretty good for business, since that is what I am majoring in. However, I applied to other schools that I would go to besides UVA in case I had gotten rejected. I mainly applied to schools within my state and nearby states. I got into UVA and that was exciting. On the contrary, the price tag was not attractive. I would have to pay tens of thousands of dollars per year to go to UVA. On the other hand, I got accepted to W&M with a full ride and a research grant, which would look very good to graduate schools and potential jobs. Additionally, I would get the newest dorms available because I got the specific research grant. I told my parents my options and they still want me to go to UVA because it is better for business. My parents said not to worry about money, but I do not want to be financially tied to them because they might take away my tuition or have control over my life since they are quite religious and conservative. I toured both campuses and I honestly liked W&M better because it was less busy compared to UVA and no student debt. Also, everyone was more helpful and friendly to me at W&M when I toured, and the tour was actually led by someone, whereas UVA's tour was self-led. Overall, I just like the feeling of W&M better. Now my parents are very disappointed in me for choosing W&M and trying to get me to change my decision. They are saying that I am selfish, careless, and too young to be making major life decisions. However, I asked all of my counselors, teachers, my smartest peers, and just about everyone said they would choose W&M given my decisions. I tried to explain to my parents that undergrad does not matter and that I'll go to business school anyways after college/university. They are still firm on their decision because they are immigrants who worked hard to give me the best possibilities and to take the largest opportunity, which is UVA. They say money isn't a problem, but I am not comfortable with the decision. They keep sending me statistics about how UVA is ranked higher and all of that, and are guilt-tripping me trying to change my mind. They have been crying nonstop about my decision. I haven't committed yet, but honestly, I think they just want bragging rights that I go to UVA. So Reddit, am I the idiot for choosing to go to my choice of university college over my parents' preferences? Any help would be appreciated because they won't support me anymore, and I will be disowned if I go through with my decision. Thank you. Edit. Thank you all for your support. It means a lot going through such a stressful time. To answer some questions, I will be majoring in business with a concentration in finance and also double major with either statistics or math. I plan to get an internship or job after college and have work experience and eventually get my MBA, hopefully. So the cost of UVA for 4 years is about $80, 000 plus, and W&M has no loans attached to it either. Everything will be paid for by the scholarship or grants. Also, W&M accepts more of my AP credits if that helps, LOL. Additionally, we are South Asian, LOL. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Thomas Jefferson went to William and Mary. It is a prestigious school. It is a great choice for all the reasons you stated. No student debt is fantastic. Now you get to set your boundaries and do life the way you want and not the way your parents want. Let them lament. This is your life. It is crazy that they would disown you over this. That is a threat ultimatum that you do need to consider. If you do give in to them, then they will use that threat over you for the rest of your life. You may need to stand up to them now and go through a few years of turmoil. I'm so sorry they are putting you in this position. Comment 2. Not the idiot. All of your reasoning is sound. You like the school better. You're absolutely right that your undergrad isn't as important in terms of prestige as your graduate program. And a full ride to college is a literal dream that you'll be so glad you took when all of your friends are talking about their loans in 5 years. You are absolutely right to be concerned about tying your future debt to your parents' whims if they can't even let you make such an obvious choice without freaking out. Now, for the update. Hey everyone, thanks so much for all your comments and support on my last post. It really means a lot to me during this stressful time. So a lot has happened in the past 2 weeks since I last updated you all. I decided to go with my gut and commit to William and Mary, despite my parents' strong objections. I thought that once I made the decision official, they would eventually come around and support me. Boy, was I wrong. When I told them I had accepted the offer from W&M, they completely lost it. They started yelling and crying, saying I was throwing away my future and that I would regret this decision for the rest of my life. They even threatened to cut me off financially if I went through with it. I tried to reason with them, explaining again how the full ride scholarship and research grant were too good to pass up, and how I really felt at home on the W&M campus. But they wouldn't listen. They just kept going on about how UVA was more prestigious and how I was being selfish and short-sighted. Things got even worse when they found out I had already sent in my deposit to secure my spot at W&M. They accused me of going behind their backs and being deceitful. I tried to explain that I was just following the deadline and didn't want to risk losing my place, but they weren't having it. For the past 2 weeks, the tension in our house has been unbearable. My parents barely speak to me, and when they do, it's only to express their disappointment and anger. They've even started talking about how they're going to tell our extended family and friends that I'm throwing away my future by going to a lesser school. I've been trying to stay strong and stick to my decision, but it's been really tough. I've been second-guessing myself a lot, wondering if I'm making a huge mistake. I mean, what if my parents are right? What if I am ruining my future by not going to UVA? To make matters worse, I found out last week that my best friend, who had also been accepted to W&M, decided to go to UVA instead. She said her parents convinced her it was the better choice and she didn't want to disappoint them. That really stung because I was counting on having her there with me as a support system. I've been trying to focus on the positives and remind myself why I chose W&M in the first place. I keep telling myself that I'm making the best decision for my future and that I shouldn't let my parents' opinion sway me. But it's hard not to feel like I'm letting them down and ruining our relationship. I guess I'm just worried that this decision is going to have long-lasting consequences. What if my parents never forgive me? What if they cut me off and I struggle to make ends meet? What if I get to W&M and realize I made the wrong choice after all? I know I need to stay strong and trust my gut, but it's just been a really rough couple of weeks. I feel like I'm risking everything. My relationship with my parents, my financial stability, my future, and I'm terrified it's all going to blow up in my face. Anyway, thanks for letting me vent and for all your support. It really does mean a lot to me. I'll keep you all updated on how things go from here. Fingers crossed it all works out in the end. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day!